Guys, section 9.4, another conic section for us. We had parabola, we had a circle, now we have an ellipse. So some things you got to know about an ellipse. What is the shape of an ellipse? Well, maybe the shape of our face, right? My head here. It's not a perfect circle, obviously. Got an ellipse shape, kind of like an egg. So I got an egg-shaped head. Now, to kind of check this out on a graph. Now I didn't make a perfect ellipse here. It's kind of hard to do that with this what I have on my computer, but kind of like this. That's better drawing than this, but you get the idea. Here's our ellipse right here. Now every ellipse has an equation to it. Just like every circle is x squared plus y squared equals r squared, we have an equation for an ellipse. But actually there's two of them. One could look like this, or it could look like that. So two different equations. Okay, this equation right here represents when it is horizontal. So if it's horizontal, meaning what we call the major axis. Okay, the major axis is horizontal. Basically, the longest axis is horizontal. There's two axes in an ellipse. One goes from this vertex all the way through to this vertex. Notice that is bigger than this vertex to this vertex. Okay? So this thing right here, the longer one, is called obviously the major axis. The shorter one is called the minor axis. So every ellipse has these two axes right here. Okay, now if the major axis is horizontal, then you use this equation right here. Where do A and B come from? They come from your drawing. A is, well, here, right here, is the center of our ellipse. All these ellipses so far are going to have a center of 0, 0, just like the circles. Until later sections, we're going to change that. So the center of the ellipse is right here. How far is it from here to A? Here's A. We should label this. You should label this on your papers here. This is a vertex right here, and so is this one. It's a vertex. So what about this one and this one? These are, that's a co-vertex, and that's a co-vertex. That's important to know. Okay, because I'm going to say, what are your vertices, or what are your co-vertices? What's your major axis? What's your minor axis? I'm going to ask you a lot of things, and that's what makes this chapter hard. It's like there's just a lot of little things to know. So it's not hard content, just a lot of things. So what else here? What else can I say? Oh, so A and B. A is a length. Okay, length from the center to a vertex. Okay, so here's the center to a vertex. In this case, my A is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In this case, it's going to change. Okay, so what about B? B is the length from center to the co-vertex. In this case, my B is from here to here, so that's 1, 2, 3. In this case, B would be 3. So actually, my equation for this thing right here would be what? X squared over A squared. So what did we say A was? A is the distance here, so that's what? 6. 6 squared, which is 36, plus y squared over B squared. B is the length from this to this, which is 3. So 3 squared is 9. Equals, it always equals 1. So keep that in mind too. Ellipse always equals 1. If it doesn't, you have to do some things. So you know the formula right here. You got to memorize that. You also have to memorize these things. See all these points on here? Vertex, co-vertex, and actually I didn't say this, but right here and right here, just an estimate. This This is one focus. This is your other focus. Remember we had a focus in a parabola? Now we got a focus here as well. Actually, both of them together are called foci. Your foci are located at these points. Here's what also you have to memorize. This vertex is, think about it. Here's 0, 0. Move over. In this case, it's -6, 0. And what about this vertex? It's +6, 0. But in general, you have to memorize this. It is -a, 0. And this vertex is a, 0. This covertex. Covertex, you always got to think it deals with b. Covertex is your b value. Okay, so covertex is, in this case, since it's up, it's b, 0, b. See, it's easy to confuse that if you're not doing this or if you're not studying too much. And this one would be 0, -b. So A deals with the vertex. B deals with the covertex. Okay? 0b, 0, -b. The focus is the last one. The focus is, since it's right on the x-axis, it has to be c, 0. And this one is, this is -c, 0. And this is c, 0. So write all those down somewhere off to the side, something. Maybe it clutters this up if you drew a small one, but make sure it's covertex b, 0b, 0, -b, vertex -a0, a0, focus -c0, and c0. Write those down. Those are important because I'm going to say, what is the focus? What is the covertex? I'm going to ask you for all these things. What is the equation of this? Okay? A lot of little variables to remember. So, take some good notes on this stuff. Alright, that is the first type of ellipse when it's horizontal. Now let's go to vertical. Everything's basically going to switch. So this is going to be a lot quicker for this one. Okay?